This is just a time where we try to stop and the teachers nominate students that they feel are a cut above. They will come up and talk about their students today, and you'll hear some exceptional things. My prediction is that you'll hear that they are great academic students, but they also bring something else to the classroom environment, to the school, that made them stand out to be recognized by their teachers in the area of academics. As you drive around our community right now, you see we're celebrating state championship football, you see we're celebrating the play and the musical and all that kind of stuff. Every once in a while as a school, it feels wise to stop and celebrate some academics and some good character of students individually that come through our school and make it a better place. So the way this will work is we'll have each teacher come up, introduce their students, say some really nice sappy things about them. We'll give them their award. And then if you'll step over to the left side there, there's a picture for the yearbook. You should be advised you're being recorded to be posted on Buck Report or YouTube channel for the school or whatever later on. And then at the end, we'll have all the students up here for one picture, and then parents, you're welcome to take a picture there too if you'd like, and catch up with the teacher before you go. Good? If you have to get to work, our ceremony usually lasts about 20-25 minutes, so you will not be here for 2 hours. Right? Thank you for coming this morning, and we will start with CTE department and Ms. Manis.
Sorry, guys. So my name is Mrs. Mamis, and I teach the marketing and management program here at Carmean High School. And I had Mason last year. So you might say, well, why is he student of the month now? Well, it's not uncommon that in the CTE, especially in the business department, that we have students that have little side hustles. Sometimes not so little side hustles. And they're running businesses or they're delving into running their own business. And so it's not too uncommon. What is uncommon is a student that not only introduced us to affiliate marketing and what he was doing and sharing freely with the other students in the class, but then decided to start another business and use the knowledge he had from the marketing class to enhance it. He came in, he's like, Ms. Mamis, I'm looking for my detailing business on who my customer's gonna be, and he created a customer profile just like we did in class. He came and he says, hey, look, this is what I'm offering. What does it look like? How does my offer look to the consumer? He's come and showed me his flyer. He's come and showed me his Instagram posts. He's come and showed me how he's using social media, which we've really increased in our class this year for advertising the things that the marketing class is doing. And he's using all the concepts in class. So you still might ask, well, why is he student of the month now? You had him last year. Yes, he's using marketing now, and he just asked me to help him with his website. But Mr. DeJong has him for engineering, so he is a double completer, marketing and engineering. And Mr. DeJong said, I've noticed this year an increase in Mason's motivation to be here, Mason's motivation in class. So what he's doing and the excitement he has for his business, that he's using the skills that he learned in my class, he's transferring to other classes that he has during the day, and other teachers are taking notice. They see your excitement. He was so bold in his new desire to run his business that he went to Mr. Kenna and said, hey, I think teachers are a really good target market for my business. They're busy, they may not have time to detail their cars, they have time here while sitting here, I have time after school, and I have time during my internship to help with that. And he asked him if he would help him promote to teachers. That's a pretty...
Teachers have lots of extra money.
That's a pretty bold move, though, to use your resources. That's something else we learned in class, that we don't have a budget, we don't have a lot of resources, so we look to see what's available within our sphere to help us. And that shows the mark of a true entrepreneur. And for that, and his motivation, his excitement in his classes as he goes through this year, CTE decided that he was well deserving of Student of the Month.
Next up will be the English department and Ms. Martin.
I did not have the pleasure of having Rebekah last year. It's my first year. But when I was thinking about what makes a good English student and what brings us joy as an English teacher is someone who submits work that makes you smile, that you enjoy reading, who clearly did a creative job, a thorough job. And every time Becca submits something, that's what I get. She legitimately will submit work to me,
Oh, that's right.
and it makes me laugh. I giggle at it, something happens with it. She shows me new websites, which is also great because always yourself there. I do have an Instagram, sorry. I can't talk no platform. Oh, and then when we started this year, Becca proclaimed to me that she struggled in English, and I have found the opposite. She definitely is not struggling in English. She's doing really well. She had scored the highest on her midterm for English 3, even though she came in all worried about it. And aside from that, she's just an enjoyable student to be around. I had a conversation with a student last week, 2 weeks ago, and I went back and forth and pretended like I knew exactly what he was talking about. He was using some slang word. I had no idea what he was talking about. I just kept nodding and smiling, and Becca's watching me nod and smile, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. And then I leaned over to her and I was like, Becca, what does that mean? And she only laughed for maybe like 2 minutes before she told me what it meant. But overall, Becca definitely is deserving of the English Award for both her academics. She also juggles cheerleading and is just a wonderful young lady all around. Good job.
Next up from our math department, Ms. Lawrence.
My name is Mrs. Lawrence, and I'm from the math department. This is my student of the month. This is Kat Alvarenga, and I have her in my 4th period Algebra 2 class. So, as a math student, Kat is great. She comes to class every day. She's prepared. She answers my questions. She's ready to learn. She asks questions. My favorite thing about Kat as a math student, though, is I have my students in groups. And it does not matter what group I put Kat in. She is always willing to help the students in her group. And the thing that's even better is that they're willing to let her help them. She has this personality that I cannot even explain. She is probably the happiest person I've ever met in my life. She walks in my room with a smile on her face. She stops by throughout the day to say hi. She says thank you at the end of the day. She just exudes joy, and she gives that to the people around her because she's just such a really awesome person. And I'm just so happy that I've been able to have her in my class. So congratulations.
I would agree. When I see Kat come down the hallway and I'm like grumbly about something, I'm like, oh great, now I got to From Performing Arts, Ms. Scully.
Good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure of nominating the November Performing Arts Student of the Month, Senior Adam. As a band director, I have a unique opportunity to see students for more than 1 year, 4 years, 3 years. Sometimes teachers don't get the opportunity to see students 2 years in a row. So I'm very lucky to see students throughout their entire career here at the high school. And Adam has been one of the most dedicated and passionate band members. And I say that to a lot of students, but in particular, Adam has fought through scheduling issues and COVID to try and stay in our band classes. And when he couldn't schedule his band classes, either between COVID and then coming back from COVID with all his computer science and AP classes, he still came after school and participated in jazz band and participated in marching band and kept it going through all of those challenges. And even though he had a really challenging time as a freshman, and then again when COVID hit, a significant amount of students throughout the whole school just kind of didn't go back to their clubs and organizations. But the moment that Adam had the opportunity, he was back in, and that was so appreciated. The moment I decided to nominate Adam was when I started to notice him silently working on his music. And in the band class, there's about 40 students, and as much as I say, please bring your instrument home, and please do this, and please clap your rhythm, and write in your counts, I don't have to say that to Adam. If I look over, even when I'm starting to warm up my lunch, he's still there in between the lunch period, clapping his rhythm, taking a pencil and writing that stuff in. And that is something I literally have to walk up to a student and say, take your pencil out, write it in. And I have to watch them do it. But he is already doing it on his own. And that is a huge individual skill, but that is something that behind the scenes, an individual doing that work benefits the entire program as a whole. So that's just an amazing skill that he has developed and something that he did not do as a freshman and through online learning, and that is just a huge kind of arc of growth here. So I'm very appreciative of all of the work you've committed to the band program and especially kind of returning us to that normal when we came back from COVID, so congratulations.
Next up from PE, Ms. Schenker.
Is my, oh, there it is. Yep.
All right, good morning, I'm Mrs. Schenker. I have Kyle on Fitness for Life this year. He has stood out to me since the beginning, first of all, because he's one of the first ones out of the locker room. So whether he's just dropping off his stuff or doing a full change of clothes or anything, he is out there, he is ready for whatever we're doing. Now, this can be a little difficult, especially when you're coming straight from lunch, because I know sometimes right after I eat, I don't really want to be running around doing a whole lot of stuff. Kyle, though, is always ready. He always wants to know what we're doing, and then he's always ready to help get equipment out. Do you want me to set up this? Then whenever we're finishing up with things, he will help collect the things a lot too. Sometimes there's a lot of equipment, and we have a lot of kids in that gym sometimes, so things can get a little wacky. He's even stood out to the other PE teacher who has a class during that time as well. So having, we have, I think, 60 some kids in the class, so to stand out among all of those kids is really special. Kyle also really works well with a lot of kids in the class. We have a whole lot of different levels. Some very good athletes, some people who don't want to be there at all, some people who, it really is difficult, especially after that lunch shift. And he works pretty well with any team that I put him on, any group that we work with. So it really is special to have somebody like that can sort of be somebody that I can look to help me out and get people going as well. So congratulations and thank you. Yep.
Next up is, this is an award by Miss Carmean, who is a little under the weather today. So Ms. Traver will be here presenting the words of Miss Carmean for the science department. And Kyle.
So I'm just going to read
In the
exactly
voice
what
of
she
Miss
said
Carmean.
in the voice of Miss Carmean, okay? My name is Mrs. Carmean, and I'm here to congratulate my Choice for Science Student of the Month, Kyle Dorsey. My selection of Student of the Month is always difficult, and this semester is even more so. Teaching 2 sections of honors physics and accelerated AP physics, I have some of the most successful students here at KIHS. It is really difficult to single out one deserving student from so many worthy recipients. But even among so many amazing students, Kyle stands out. He stands out specifically because of his work ethic and his intrinsic motivation and interest in learning. Kyle currently has the highest grade, 100%, in 2 sections of honors physics, which is 40 students. He seems to have a natural disposition for the physics content and really enjoys problem solving. He is extremely successful in this class because he internalizes the concepts and understands how the mathematical equations represent everyday applications. In addition, he is able to connect the physics concepts to the laboratory experiences, often going beyond the graded expectations to explain how random or systematic errors affect the data collected. Physics talk. Not only does Kyle complete every assignment to the best of his ability, but he seeks to go beyond the expectations of honors physics. When he finishes problem sets before the rest of the class, he seeks out more challenging questions and problems. He quietly and successfully works on AP level questions and problems simply because he enjoys problem solving. It is rare to find a student who is so intrinsically motivated to learn beyond the course expectations. For his work ethic and intrinsic motivation for learning physics, I've chosen Kyle Dorsey for the Science Student of the Month.
Next up is our visual arts, social studies, Mr. Robbins. You're next, no, you're on deck.
Okay, I'll be ready.
Mr. Robbins, social studies.
So, my name is Tom Robbins. I teach social studies at KIHS Church. And I get to do Student of the Month for our department today. I teach a lot of AP classes. I teach African American history, which is the class that Devin is in. And I'd like to go ahead and say that Devin is here because he's the most outstanding student for interest in African American history. But it's an elective, and everyone who signed up for it was interested in African American history. So I have tons of interest in students. And it's not really a skill-based class because you're not trying to go ahead and teach them how to add or how to mix chemicals or whatever important thing physicists do that I don't know very well because I'm a social studies teacher. But for me, I want every student who comes out of one of my classes in social studies to be a strong self-advocate, to be able to go ahead and internally reflect on things, to take in information, to analyze it, and go ahead and make meaning out of it on their own. And when it comes to those kind of skills, and I think of someone for Student of the Month, I thought of this guy right here. Devin will go ahead and started off the semester kind of quiet, new class, never met you before then. But over time, Devin went ahead and becomes a huge and amazing self-advocate. He's asking questions. He's raising his hand. He doesn't understand something. And I'll see his hand multiple times in the class period some days not at all. But he's always checking to make sure. He always wants to talk through things and make sure he understands them properly. And if that is the only thing, hopefully it's not the only thing, but if that is the only thing that Devin takes out of any of my classes, then I think I've been successful in helping to prepare him for what comes after high school. So that's why I want to give Devin our Student of the Month this year. So congratulations.
All right, sorry. Now, visual arts, Ms. Nevin.
So I'm Miss Neno, and I teach all of our 3D art classes, and I nominated Nora because I've had Nora since middle school, 2 years in middle school, and then I've had her 2 years in high school, so she's been my student for 4 years, and the growth that I've seen happen over those 4 years is just amazing to me. Nora's, came in middle school, not super confident, asking tons and tons of questions, which is great. Again, self-advocating is so important for students. But I have seen her confidence grow. I've seen her art skills grow exponentially over the years. And not only has she become this great artist who is getting more and more confident in her choices and in her work and her abilities, but she's just a sweet, nice student to have in class. She works well with everybody. She's always asking questions. She comes up with creative ideas, and if she's struggling to execute them, we kind of work through it, we talk through it, and she figures it out in the end. She's come up with some awesome projects this year, and I'm just really, really proud of her growth and her work, and she's just an awesome person all the way around, so that's why I nominated Nora for Student of the Month.
World languages, we still got it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ms. Delgado, and I'm also a Spanish 2 teacher this semester. I nominated Elsa for Student of the Month this month because, I really have many wonderful qualities that I can point out about her. Her presence in my classroom, it stands out. She's not a talkative student. She's quiet, but that quietness just brings that sense of presence in my class that as a teacher kind of grounds me. She's honest, she's respectful, she has this positive energy, she raises her hand, and I have to point out that she's probably one of the bravest students I have taught before because she takes the risk. And with the language, if you don't try to use the language, you will not learn the language. Elsa does this every single day. She takes a risk, whatever she's sure about what she's going to say or not, she just says it. And that for me, it's the best quality as a language learner can be. She works well with others. Like I said again, she participates every day. Her work ethics, her self-discipline. She, when we have a little bit of extra time between activities or at the end of the class, like perhaps the last 5 minutes, she's not the student who's on their phone. She brings a book out and quietly, she sits there, waits patiently until everybody is ready to go. And those little qualities that are a little bit different from our high schoolers nowadays, for me, are very special. And that's why I chose Elsa as the Student of the Month.
And last but certainly not least in our PACS program is Loveday.
Good morning. Jordan Barrow, such an amazing young man. I've had him for 2 years, and I know that I'll have him for a few more years. I usually stay in my program for 4 to 6 years. He has grown within the last year. He is more motivated. He is more encouraging. He is a hard worker, and these are all things that he's grown in within the last year. We have sayings in our class like we are striving for excellence, and we have the power of yet. He may not know something yet, but he's getting there. So I definitely wanted to honor Jordan, not only for this month, but since the beginning of the school year. So great job.
So in conclusion, I'd like to just take 1 minute and thank Ms. Parsons, the lady in the gray sweater right there. She got up at 3:30 in the morning to start baking the donuts that you ate or you will eat on the way out. And no, but she was in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru by 6:30 to make sure this is taken care of and coordinates all of this really, keeping you guys in touch and coordinating with the teachers. Truthfully, she is the heart and soul of this ceremony. Speaking of heart and soul, at the beginning and now at the end, I think you heard what I said. There are students here that make this school a better place, that make our community a better place in some cases. Their actions on a daily basis make their classrooms and their teachers stronger. And in some cases, you started hearing of how what we hope we're doing here at the high school, it's extending out beyond the walls of this building into our community. We're very proud of them. And to the students, I say thank you for making our school a better place. This is a significant honor. There's only about 12 of you sitting here. There are 1,200 students in this school. So you are the 1% this month. And we certainly, you didn't get picked at random. We appreciate everything you do and thank you for making our school a better place. Please grab a donut, grab hot chocolate on your way out. But at this point, I'll need all students to come up front.
With your certificates and trophies.
With your certificates and trophies for a picture for the yearbook. And parents, you're welcome to jump in on this picture as well.